Brian Claypool, let me bring you back in and just correct myself. It's Matthew Frank, who is the Attorney General in this case. I also want to let everybody know that the jury's been sent home. They will begin their deliberations on Monday. That's another thing that everybody will have to take into account, that they're going to have a really 48-hour cooling off period between this final testimony and when they begin deliberations. So, Brian Claypool, your thoughts on that interaction that we just watched?
Yeah, hey, Martha, thanks for having me back, and Merry Christmas. I think Leo will agree with me. We both handled shooting death cases in California involving police officers. And the argument, if you're making the argument, gee, the police officer should have rendered medical aid and the police officer should have tried to save the life of somebody they just shot, that's not going to work with the jury because these police officers aren't paramedics. But with that said, I think both sides scored points. Let's talk about the prosecution for a moment. I think the prosecution did a good job of letting the jury see the totality of the circumstances. So where's the starting point here? One of the most powerful pieces of evidence the prosecution got out today, she got Potter to admit, I would not have pulled this car over. That makes this case bigger than just the state of Minnesota versus Kim Potter, Martha. That brings into question training and police practices across the country. In other words, if you as a police officer create an unreasonable risk, are you then justified in relying, gee, I made a mistake in using deadly force? And when she says, I wouldn't have pulled him over, I mean, this encounter probably should have never happened. And another quick piece of evidence that I think is really powerful was when the prosecutor showed the picture of a taser right next to the gun, Martha, it was profound. I mean, when you grab the handle of a taser, it's like that big. The gun is like that big. Yeah. And then she showed a picture. She showed a picture of Kim Potter holding the gun. So there was time that was lapsed between holding the gun and shooting the gun. That is powerful because that establishes, I think, that Potter knew she had a gun in her hand. And I think that does potentially rise to culpable negligence.
Yeah. She, at one point, Erin Eldridge said, do you know your left from your right, to Kim Potter? And she said, yes. I got to go.